internal stuff that is telling you which direction to go, what you've already decided that you wanted, what you've already fought for in your therapy sessions.
Okay, so let's hold on. Let me battle you just a little bit. Battle you just a little bit. So for her, maybe it was a trust in your gut. For him, he was trusting a trauma response.
This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope.
All right, guys. Hi, I'm Charmaine.
I'm Jasmine.
And we're
Mentally Dope.
All right. Hopefully you guys have been rocking with us for a little while now. On this episode, we're going to go straight into a song that I think most people thought was a love song. Jasmine did.
It was about, I was like, oh, okay, that's how we feel.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Joke was on us. If you listen to the words of Wale, Matrimony, I am a huge Wale fan. I love him. But that song to me was an epitome. Is that the word? I don't know. It was a complete example of men who do not want to let women go but can't get their stuff together. Let's jump into it.
Okay, on the attack.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm going there. So the song, the chorus, like, if there's a question of my heart, you got it. I don't belong to anyone else but
Usher,
you. Yeah, it sounds so cute. And then we go through Wale talking about.
Got it.
Get it, Jasmine.
Sorry, that's all I have. That's it.
And then we go into Wale talking about how he's in his late 20s at the time. He has never been to a wedding. I have questions. And then he's going into this whole breakdown of a relationship that he was in and all that he put her through, but how bad he's struggling. So we go through him like saying that he loves her, but he's constantly cheating on her. He embarrasses her by putting this
publicly.
Yes.
Publicly.
Yes, I embarrassed you publicly by putting this on social media. You see me with random chicks on social media. I acknowledge your hurt that you know that you'll always be sharing me with other women. I can promise you better, but I'm not.
But see, what does that show? That shows you know what's happening. You know what you're doing.
You are cognitively aware.
Exactly. You're
of
still
your actions.
Choosing to continue to do it. What's that about? What's going on?
I feel like ask in general what that is. And like one of my signature favorite, but I hate lines of the song is where he says, I see you afloat, but I don't want to see you sail. To me, it's like how we see a lot of situations where people want to see you doing okay. Like, I'm fine with you doing okay, but when you move on, come on back.
Right. Because I know, basically saying, I know you can sail without me.
Yes.
I know you can thrive without me, but I don't want to see that.
No.
So I'm going to string you along.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure you still over here. That's the problem. That's not loving behavior.
Have you ever been in a situation with a person who would, like, be fine with you being out, with you guys not being together until you're happy? And then they're like, oh, happy radar, come on back.
I mean, that's like the thing that people say. Most people's exes, like the moment they sense, you're happy, you're doing what you need to do, they'd be like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah. Hey, big head. Mm-hmm. I missed you, only to do the same stuff all over again.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And
what's
then,
that about, though? Yes.
To me, the sad thing about this song is that it's about his feelings. He's saying that I'm broken. I'm struggling. I went from drunk and falling in love to drunk and falling apart. But I'm also not willing to heal and step up and be the man that you need me to be.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe I don't know how.
Okay.
Do you think maybe that's part of it? Like, I think sometimes people really very much want to change their behavior, but they don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Because often it doesn't, like, the right order is not how things go. Like, you really want to, and then you just do it. That's not how change works.
Okay.
Right? Like, you really want to, then you decide, how do we get here?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, oh, okay, what need am I fulfilling by operating in this way? Right?
So let me ask this question then. At what point do we go from recognizing the need to change and the need to heal to actually going to seek help to do these things? Because at one point do I hold you accountable? You can tell me all day, yes, I messed up. Yes, like, no, this is wrong. But what you doing, bruh?
Yeah, but like, see, the thing is that, okay, he made the decisions, but somebody else is also complicit. And I say that to say, when people come to see you and me, right, they come to therapy, it's because they've had...
The therapist?
It's because they've had consequences in their life, right? Oh, like, I don't have very good relationships, or I really want my life to look this way and it's not, right? Like, whatever's happening inside of them is maybe conflicting with what they're having. But for him, he's still getting what he needs. He has a person right here beside him, being strung along with him, and knowing, like, she's always going to be my safety blanket. So, like, what do I need to go to therapy for when I'm getting what I need? Even if I know it's wrong.
Ow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have no motivation to do something different because it doesn't really hurt like that.
Okay. And that's a big thing, too. So, if I can say that it's wrong, but I'm actually not dealing with consequences, do I really change? Is there a need to change?
What need does he have to change? Except that he's unhappy with or without her, it sounds like. So it's better to be unhappy with somebody than unhappy and alone, right?
Because, like, maybe the whole idea of being with her forces him to be somebody he doesn't want to be. It forces him to actually have to go forward into the relationship that I'm not ready for.
Yeah, that he's not a person he's not ready to be.
And so, okay, so there's like two parts of this, because, like, you're looking at it from the standpoint of, like, she also needs to be held accountable. That you're going through this.
Unless that's what she wants, unless that's what she signed up for. But it sounds like he knows, I embarrassed you. I've hurt you. I've done some things to hurt you because you've let me know that.
Y'all, if y'all ever watched this video, this video, and this beautiful young lady getting married. She is getting married. She is at the altar with her soon-to-be husband, and then out pops Wale into like the church, and he's like, "Come on back."
I've not seen this video. That's why I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you let me sail that far, and then you were like, "Come on back."
But see, it's hard for me to feel. I already have feelings about Wale anyway, but I ain't gonna discuss that with y'all right now because y'all not gonna cancel me today. But I will also say I feel like Fantasia.
Okay.
And what she would say. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me.
I feel like
that's how I feel.
The romantic in some females, we want the Jack and Ellie love from The Notebook.
But there's always like a little bit of drama without that.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't happen the way that we thought it was
Yes,
gonna. But then at the last minute, he's gonna come
and fights for me at the last minute.
And he's gonna realize that I was really the one all along. But he don't. He wants the security blanket.
And he still did not say, "I'm gonna marry you." This was not like a whole Dwayne Wade and Whitley thing. He was not saying like he'll marry me.
Choose me.
Yes,
pick me. He's saying, "No,
don't marry him.
Don't marry him."
And then me and you go out to the club. Like I'm not marrying you. I'm still not ready to marry you, but I don't want you to move on.
But that's a whole word, right? Like, are you leaving the altar to go with something that's already broken promises to you in the beginning? That's the problem. We got to reevaluate. Yeah. Because he's already proven to you and shown you what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do.
So maybe this is like the idea of how someone who is unhealed can come into a relationship. But so then my question was she unhealed before? Maybe she was, because if she had been healed, maybe she would not have been able to say goodbye to him. But the hard part about falling in love with somebody, thinking that you guys are like gonna be together, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm broken. This one's trash." And like, how hard is that for us in those moments, men, women, or whoever, like to say, I have fell in love with someone who is now telling me that they cannot give me what it is that I thought that we were working towards?
It's hard. It is hard. I think it also takes a level of just like being okay with yourself, a level of confidence to know, like, if I leave this, if I do something different, will I still be okay? because I think a lot of people have their sense of self wrapped up in that. Like, I could just wait. We all have our problems, so I just need to give grace to this person and all these things, which is not incorrect, but it's incorrect in the way that you use it, right? Like, are you here because you want to fix somebody and like love them back together? That's not a healthy way to love people.
Yes, shots fired.
Right? Like, you dealing with a deal breaker is different than you dealing with something that just gets on your nerves. And that's a pet peeve. Okay?
And that's
people
my thing.
get that mixed up.
Yes. So there's a big difference in between having a man that snores or having a spouse, whatever, a partner that snores, or like, you know, a partner that like, that has like, you know, time issues, versus someone who is publicly embarrassing you, versus someone who is like telling you I can't commit. Those are not like, you know, were different type issues. Like, those are deal breakers, or they should be deal breakers.
Well, if that's a deal breaker for you, you need to honor that
for you,
and not talk yourself out of it. Not say, well, these are the good qualities. And also,
everybody has problems.
So strongly about this person, and if I didn't, then what is it really meant to be? I think we do a good job of that too, especially women. Of like, I wouldn't feel this way if we weren't meant to be. Yeah. And like, feelings be feeling. Feelings show up whether we want them to or not. That doesn't mean necessarily that things have to be one way or they don't. It's just information.
And maybe that is like, you know, for us, like you said,
my hands a lot today. We're doing a lot of this.
Okay. Feelings be feeling. So if the feelings are feeling, and we try to bypass the feeling, I think that a lot of times
speak on that.
Here's the thing: we say it's for the other person, and it's for us. I bypass the feeling not because the person needs help or the person is struggling. I'm scared. It has nothing to do with them. It's me. Yeah.
And us codependent types that we love so much, we're really good at focusing on other people so we don't have to focus on our stuff. Yeah. Like, ooh, this feels scary. This feels hard. Let's focus on you. How are you doing?
And we can blame it. Like, I can blame it everywhere. It's them, and they're having this issue, and they're doing this, and then like ask me like you know, why you ain't left. I don't like her.
She always has something negative to say about me and my relationship. She's so judgmental.
She don't understand.
But it's really like, we don't want to deal. Cut off game strong. But it's really like, I don't want to deal with my own issues, so I'm gonna keep showing up to this relationship that I know does not feed me, does not meet my expectations. Is not fulfilling the goals that I have for myself, because I haven't done the work when I don't want to. I think a part of it is like, I don't want to look at all of this tough stuff inside of me, and I don't want to work on it. Just right now.
So now in this situation, we have two people.
I know we're supposed to be talking about Wale. We always got to focus on the woman, but you know,
it's both, because there is two people. It's him who is completely laying out all of these things that he's doing. Like, all of these negative things that he's doing, and then still saying, I ain't really changing. That's it.
I don't know what to tell you. Somebody said, what was this video said? Or some TikTok of like, just because I cheated, does that make me a cheater? And the girl said, yes. He said, just because I cut hair, does that make me a barber? And she was like, And I was like, he got a point. But that's not what we're talking about right now. But it's just like, just because it happened, I'm still not gonna change.
And I think that's the hard part, because he is giving a level of vulnerability. He's like talking to her like, hey, I want to acknowledge your feelings. I'm so sorry that you're like, you know, being like, you know, drugged through this. I'm so sorry that you're having all these issues, whatever. But
that's almost worse, though, isn't that? Because I know y'all have experienced this. When you have a partner that is very insightful, they know why they do the things they do. They're insightful of them doing the things and knowing that it's going to hurt you. Like, it's one thing if a person hurts you unknowingly, right? They have no idea they're impacting you this way. It's another thing if somebody does know how they're impacting you and they're still choosing to do it. Yeah. Like, that makes it worse.
To me, that sounds very, very manipulative. For you to come to me and like say, hey, I want to acknowledge your feelings. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I'm so sorry that I'm putting you through this. I know that you have this fear of like, you know, how we're gonna be like in the future or forever or whatever. And I love you. And we'll see how I do with this. I mean,
But it's almost being like, I know there's not many reasons to stay with me, but I'm still going to ask you to stay with me. And I think if people put it like that will get you less results than actually being like, well, I'm trying my best. It's been a rough 2 years for me, and I appreciate you for sticking with me and like all that stuff.
I love 2 years. God, though.
It's been some time.
God, though. 2 years, yeah?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know.
You know people.
No.
Some people be longer than that. Okay.
You right. We done been together for the past 10 years. It's cool. It's
up
cool.
and down and through and all these things and like struggle love. Is that a song? No,
it should be
it's
Struggle
not.
Love.
Struggle
we got to
love.
go ahead and produce that one.
Okay.
Struggle Love coming out.
Struggle Love.
Cop that.
She is the rapper. I am not the rapper. I can produce maybe, but that's all I got. But
we're gonna have Jasmine singing on the hook. But yeah, that is like that definition of struggle love. Because then, like you said, she will leave the altar, leave the potential. I don't know how he is, because I don't know. But
it's more than potential. He said, I want to do this, and I'm going to make it clear to you by, like, doing all these things.
I'm trying to...
So the fulfillment of a promise and a commitment.
I'm trying to, like, reach out to my girl, whoever she may be, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying. But yes, so we're going to leave the altar and then go to the man that we really love.
Who we know, his track record, who we know what has happened, who we know he's already committed. At no point did he say, I'm going to do you right, girl. This time is going to be the time. None of that. He just said, you know what it is. Come on, let's go. What?
This is like the definition of like...
insanity?
I was going to say like, maybe like right dude, wrong intentions. Because I'm like, he could be a decent guy.
I mean, I think I don't believe in right and wrong necessarily, or like the one, but I think just timing. Like both of us have to be in a more healed place for this to work out. Mm-hmm. Because you need to actually do the things you say you want to do, and I need to like stick to my commitments about what's a deal breaker for me and what's not.
Yeah,
it's two things. It's not just any one thing,
Mm-hmm. So back to these deal breakers. And these deal breakers that produce a big word, boundaries.
Ooh.
Boundaries come
it's your therapist's favorite word.
Yes. Boundaries come with deal breakers. Boundaries are hard because they're going to require you to put in place things that are going to be hard to put in place. If I don't want to, I have to enforce my own boundary for someone else to enforce that boundary for me. So
explain it.
So if I say to you, I'm not dating a guy who doesn't want to be in a commitment, or who does not want to be in a commitment.
Mm-hmm. A committed relationship.
Yeah, all of that. So, and then like you try to push that boundary. It's up to me to enforce that, or you're not gonna enforce that.
Well, it's not your boundary.
Yes.
You don't have to enforce it. You, in fact, don't want it.
And let me drop this little
a gem.
Sprinkle. People always get mad at you for having boundaries that they benefit from you not having. Okay. With that being said, once you create a boundary, once you identify your deal breakers, it's up to you to influence them.
To enforce them, to look for them, to identify people who also want those same things. Like, that part is on you. You're right. Right? It's not to change people. People are going to show up however they're going to show up. Mm-hmm. Part of it is you saying, like, oh, do we match? Am I going to honor that part? Or am I going to be scared that I'm not going to find someone else, or like all of these things that I don't honor that part. Mm-hmm. I don't honor like my gut telling me like, that's not it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part. I
bypass, like you said, that feeling and just zoom on by, and then, years later be like, dang, I should have known that day when a lot of times you always know before you know.
Yes.
And you look back and you be like, I should have known then.
Mm-hmm. I should have known one day when we was at Waffle House and he said this. I should have left that day.
But also, like, that's the thing with healing. Trust your gut. Your guts, as I always tell my client. Like the internal stuff that is telling you which direction to go, what you've already decided that you wanted, what you've already fought for in your therapy sessions.
Okay, so let's hold on. Let me battle you just a little bit. So for her, maybe it was a trust in your gut. For him, he was trusting a trauma response. that gut feeling may not have been a gut boundary feeling. It may
But
have been a
what's the
trauma response.
Wait, for which one? Okay, sorry. Say it again.
So for Wale's character, I'm not sure if it was him or not, but
Well, whoever.
but for this character that was saying that I'm scared to move forward and enter a relationship. My question is that fear out of a gut feeling, or is that out of a trauma response? Is your trauma response directing your fears?
Okay, I think if I'm hearing you right, what you're saying is a very therapist way to say, is like your gut may not always be right.
Yes.
It can also be trauma. Yes, absolutely. And part of the healing process is like finding your voice.
Decipher.
Clearing what's trauma, what's me.
Am I running because I'm scared? Or am I running because something ain't right?
Exactly, because something that I am experiencing is real and legitimate and in conflict with my values.
Yes.
There's a difference. And that takes time to like grow, develop, all those things. But also, like we always say, therapy advocates over here, it's hard to do that by yourself. Yeah. We have blind spots. Yeah. You need someone to hold a mirror up to you and be like, do you like that? Is that what you want to do?
Let me ask you this. Talking to yourself is not therapy. Because your self be selfing. Like,
can you put that on a t-shirt? We put that on a t-shirt. Talking to yourself is not therapy because yourself be selfish.
That is not going to work. That does not
I think it can be therapeutic, but that is not the same as therapy.
Yes. And I'm telling you, if I only moved based on my own voice, I would lead myself astray so many times. Because thoughts go be...
What do you mean? I would. I have.
Yes.
The car is flipped over 3 times.
I done fell off the bridge and everything. Like
I done went down this road and said, I don't need no help. I got it. I can do it on my own. And what happened?
I can do that all by myself. And I did.
Proved it. We found out what happened.
Got the t-shirt. Like, it's cool. So, okay.
There's so much here, guys.
All right.
We went off on a tangent. We're going to come back.
Scorch around. All right, so Jasmine, if you had to pick one person from the song that you would do therapy with, who would you choose, and what are you doing?
I wanted to answer that question, but I'm not going to because I feel like I just said it. But what I'm going to say is sometimes my clients make art, and I have them like read it, present it in therapy because I think it's powerful. And sometimes I will pick a line out of whatever art they made and be like, what do you mean by that? Let's talk about that more. Let's expand on that. Right? Also, I just like doing that. I appreciate art. So the thing that I would pick apart, if let's just say, not Wale, but somebody like Wale came to my office, he was like, I got some stuff out this weekend. I want you to see what I wrote. And I'm gonna sit down and be like, cool. Question, what did you mean by you want her to sail? Or you want her to stay afloat but don't want her to sail? Let's talk about that. And that's what we would spend the time talking about. Of being like, what's going on in you that you're only rooting? Like, how loving does it feel for you to kind of only halfway be rooting for someone that you say you love? What's that about? And also, like, I like a little bit of parts work. So I'd be like, what parts are missing in here? Like, what is missing here that like you feel like this person can meet a need that you can't do yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I got questions because that to me, it doesn't feel loving. Even though, I don't know, I think maybe it comes from like a healthy need. I need someone to love me. I need someone to show up for me and all these things. But how loving is it for somebody to say they love you and then not wish you well, even if that's not with them?
Yeah.
And we gotta talk about that.
I feel like that's the same questions that we asked to the other party. Like literally the exact same questions.
Oh. You think so?
Like, how are you identifying love? How is the love from this person being received by you? Why does it feel good to you?
That's a good question. What about this feels good to you? Feels loving. Yeah. Feels like whatever it is you need. Safe.
Feel secure,
or at least feels normal.
Because it doesn't sound safe or secure, but
yeah, but for some people that's normal trumps safe and secure.
Yeah,
So same for you. I know who you meeting with, but
whatever the girl's name is, whatever.
I know you meeting with homegirl, but where are you going to spend most of your time? You think?
I think that I would be like defining what her like what these things look like for her. I'd be challenging her on, I'm like, what is love? Like where is your safety and security? Where is your peace in this situation? Do you have boundaries? Is this the only area where you like boundaries at? Or does this trickle into other areas of your life?
Ooh, that's a word. This is a great question. Okay. Yeah. We got questions. That's all. We got questions. We need answers. That's what we want from y'all. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I think I have. I think if you guys have not seen any other videos, go dig around, go search for some. We have some good ones, and we have some really good ones coming up.
Yeah.
As always, like us, subscribe, let somebody know